So we were discussing the rights in the Indian Constitution, and we had discussed the first right, right to equality. Let's go and see that what is a second right. Second right is right to freedom. Okay, freedom means absence of constraints. There shouldn't be any barriers or restrictions. In practical life, it means absence of interference in our affairs by others. Whatever is happening in your house and everything, that should, or in your space, that should, nobody should be able to interfere in that, be it other individuals or the government. We want to live in society, but we want to be free. No, we yes, we do agree that we are in a society, but then we also want to be free. Not be bound by anything, or like that. We want to do things in the way we want to do them. Others should not dictate us what we should. So others should not tell us, that you should live like this, you should live like this, you should eat this, you should drink that. No, this is my life. Let me choose it, please. So, under the Indian Constitution, all citizens have the right to, So, this is for everybody, you know. So under the Indian Constitution, all citizens have the right to freedom of speech and expression, assembly in a peaceful manner. So, these are very important, speech and expression, yeah, peaceful manner, assembly, then form associations and union. Then move freely throughout the country. You can go from one state to the other. You can go from Haryana to Kerala to Karnataka to Tamil Nadu, nobody can stop you. Reside, you can stay in whichever state you want. If you want to stay in Karnataka, you can. If you want to stay in Uttar Pradesh, you can. Nobody can stop you from staying there. Practice any profession or to carry any, to carry on any occupation. So nobody can, if you want to do whatever, to have a source of income, whether you want to be a doctor, you want to be an engineer, whether you want to be a nurse, or whether you want to be a historian, or whether you want to own a shop, you want to own a mall, you want to sell shoes, you can do anything of it, whatever you like. Of course, to be an engineer and medical student, you need to have proper qualifications are must, because that's what it is. You should remember that every citizen has the right to all these freedom. That means you cannot exercise your freedom in such a manner that violates others right to freedom. So yes, we are saying that you have the right to do this and that, but at the same time, you should remember that you are the, you shouldn't be the one who's violating the rights of other person. If you want your right to be, respected, then you're even obliged to, respect other people's right. So should the freedom of expression be extended to those who are spreading wrong and narrow-minded ideas? Should they be allowed to confuse the people? So there, we've seen this a lot of times, especially in today's time. There are so many fake news. You'll see so many viral videos with this something or the other title caption, and they will read out something that this has happened in, there was bomb blast or this thing and that thing you'll read. But that's actually didn't happen, and that video, or that photo was taken from somewhere else, and it was morphed, and you presented as something else. So yes, so that's what we are saying, that should we give this freedom to everybody who's narrow minded, and who does people who spread fake news and everything, in a society, because that's even dangerous for the society, spreading out fake news and everything. So your freedom should not cause public nuisance or or disorder. Matlab, you are enjoying your right, but that should not mean that the right of any other person is being violated, or you creating a public nuisance. You're free to do everything which injuries no one which injures no one else. So you can do anything you feel like, because you have your freedom, but that doesn't mean that you want to go and punch somebody. You can do it, you cannot, because then you're violating somebody's the other person's right. You enjoy a right by whichever means it is possible, do it, but don't go and disturb other person or people in public. Freedom is not unlimited license to do what one, and it's not an unlimited license, and you in that in the name of freedom you can do anything. You cannot, you cannot just make claims which are without proper reasons. Okay, accordingly the government can impose certain reasonable restrictions. So this is very important, that we've spoken a lot of other times also, that the government can put reasonable restrictions. We'll do more about it later in the future classes, that what do you mean by reasonable restrictions on a freedom in the larger interest of the society. So before you, me, who comes? The society comes, the community comes. Okay, thus this, and above every, all the communities, all the religions, what comes? It's humanity, it is India. So you cannot just do anything, you cannot just kill somebody or punch somebody in the name of religion, in the name of this thing, that this person, you don't like somebody. No, that's not done. You are obliged to even respect other people's right. Freedom of speech and expression is one of the essential features in any democracy. Our ideas and personality develop only when we are able to freely communicate with others. You may think differently from others. Even if 100 people think in one way, you should have the freedom to think differently and express your views accordingly. You may disagree with the policy of government or activities of an association. You're free to criticize the government or the activities of the association, in your conversations with parents, friends, and this thing, relatives. So this thing is very important, that you are free to criticize, whether you're criticizing the government, you're criticizing any organization and everything, you are free to do that. You may publicize your views through a pamphlet, magazine, and newspapers, and you can even publicize your views, whatever you have. You can do it through paintings, poetry, and songs. A lot of times we've seen how people have tried to protest, or for example, the basic example in all these textbooks, you see you see of these, sorry, you see these cartoons now, which try to convey something. For example, we've seen this thing, Amul butter ad for the Mandal Commission, right? So they have the right to express, so they are expressing it in that way. Or so many other cartoons that we've actually seen in the past classes, sorry, in the past this thing, uh, this cartoons in the past chapters. We saw that how standing winning in an election is dependent on the uh, thickness of your notes. How much the first person spends, and how much the person who's coming second, third, spends in election. So we've seen all sorts of cartoons, trying to uh, uh, of course, the person, whoever is the cartoonist, is trying to express his freedom of expression and free your speech. So we saw in this cartoon how parliament, how ministers were being elected. These are the politicians, MPs, and here is a prime minister who is was selecting that who out of all these people will be in the cabinet list. So this is all a right to freedom to express, free speech and expression. Okay, however, this is the important part, in all this. However, you cannot use this freedom to instigate violence against others. But your freedom, we've talked about that. Yes, you have freedom and everything, but you should be even, if you want to enjoy your right, okay, then you are obliged to even respect other person's rights. We've discussed this a lot of time. Also, if you want to enjoy your all rights, you should not, this right, especially when you talk about freedom to speech and expression, your this right of putting your opinion and views out there in the world, this cannot instigate violence against any others. This does not mean you tell people that, oh, this person is falana not good, people from here are not good, people who wear these kind of clothes are not good, वगैरह. You cannot instigate violence against others. You cannot use this to incite people to rebel against government. And especially, of course, there shouldn't be violence, and there cannot be rebel. You are free to express your opinion and everything, but all these rights and everything, comes with a duty to even respect them in return. And yeah, you cannot just go on blabbering whatever you feel like, even if it's wrong. So that's a very important part here. So neither can you use it to defame others by saying false and mean things that can cause damage to the person's reputation. You cannot just go on, saying bad, mean things and things which are not even true in reality. Because against any person or any organization, because it can cause, damage to a person's reputation. Reputation is not formed in one day. It takes years to get to a reputation, and it takes only a click of a um, second, to destroy somebody's reputation, whether we call them thief, we call them rapist, we call them or anything names like that. Okay, so if you don't know anything, just keep quiet, let the police or whoever is the officer in charge, let them investigate and come out with a conclusion, and then say. You cannot just create difficulty in other people's life in the name of saying that you are enjoying your right. Citizens have the freedom to hold meetings, processions, rallies, and demonstrations on any issues. You can form associations, processions, rallies. You'll see so many protests and everything, that we want justice, we want, especially in the remember we saw in the Nirbhaya case around 2014, 13, 4, sorry, not 14, I think in the year 2013, 13, yeah, 2012 to 13, there was this protest, we want justice and everything. They were not fighting for themselves, they were fighting for a bigger cause, and that's how their freedom to free speech and expression, to form union and everything, to and come together and show a protest. You can see here a cartoon which says hamari mange puri karo, fulfill our wishes. So yes, you have means to you can show your views, express, and you can come together and show that government, hello government, we don't like this thing or that thing. You can obviously do that. You may want to discuss a problem, exchange ideas, mobilize public support to a cause, or seek what's foreign candidate or party in an election. But such meetings have to be peaceful. The main criteria of holding such kind of meetings or this thing, protests and everything, is that they should be peaceful. They should not lead to any public disorder or breach of peace in society. They shouldn't end up in mob lynching, or one group of protesters fighting and killing the other group of protesters. They shouldn't be that. It should be a peaceful protest. They should not lead to public disorder or any peace breach of peace in society. Those who participate in these activities meetings should not carry weapons. They cannot carry weapons like this thing. They cannot carry guns, or these big wooden sticks to beat somebody and everything. You cannot carry them. That's not correct, that's wrong. Okay, citizens can form associations. For example, workers in a factory can form a workers association union to promote their interest. Of course, if people are together, their voices will be heard more. It will be a common voice among all the people. Some people in the town may come together to form an association to campaign against corruption or population. This is especially for true for Delhi. Many people, or even when area which has so many trees and forests and everything, when that is being cut down, you see so many people coming together protesting that no, no, don't cut the trees and everything. So that's what here it says: as citizens, we have the freedom to travel to any part of the country. Okay, and we are free to reside and settle in any part of the territory. Wherever you want, you can reside. You are free to reside, nobody can stop you. Let us say a person who belongs to the state of Assam wants to start a business in Hyderabad. He may not have any connection with that city. He may not have even have seen it before. Yet, as a citizen of India, he has a right to set up a base there. This right allows lakhs of people to migrate from villages or to towns, from poorer regions of countries to to prosperous regions and big cities. The same freedom extend to the choice of so this is very important, that you can reside wherever you want. You can choose any occupation you want. The same freedom extends to choice of occupation. No one can force you to do or not do a certain job. Women cannot be told that some kind of occupation or not for them. People are derived of from sorry people from deprived caste cannot be kept to their traditional occupation. You cannot say that that since your ancestor did this job, you will also have to do this job only. You cannot look for a scope beyond this job. That's wrong, that's illegal. The constitution says that no person can be deprived of his life of personal liberty except according to the procedure established by law. So whatever it is, there, that this line is also very important, that if there is a case or so, then it is only the procedure has to be whatever the procedure is, it has to be established by the law. It means that no person can be killed unless the court has ordered the death sentence. It means that a government or police officer can arrest or detain any citizens unless he has proper legal justification. It has to be have a legal justification. Even when they do, they have to follow some procedures. A person who's arrested and detained in custody will have to be informed of the reasons for arrest and detention. You cannot just arrest somebody because you have some personal grudge against them, or you just feel like doing it. You cannot. You need to have a proper justification, that why am I being taken to jail or police station. A person who's arrested and detained shall be produced before a nearest magistrate within a period of 24 hours. And to that nobody is arrested just like that because they have a sometimes it does happen, okay, that due to a personal grudge and everything, you are being arrested or your rights are being violated. Okay, so if you are taken to the police station or being arrested, then within 24 hours you have to be presented to the nearest magistrate. So this time period of 24 hours is actually very important, but such a person has a right to consult a lawyer or engage in a lawyer for his defense. So you know they have to they have the right to engage with a lawyer or a consult a lawyer or engage a lawyer for his defense, that he's not guilty of whatever the crime you are stating. Okay, so then we have, let us recall the cases of Guantanamo Bay and Kosovo. The victims in such cases faced a threat to the most basic of all liberties, the protection of individual life and personal liberty. So, we saw the example that how the ethnic massacre of Albanians and the Bay, where prisoners were being taken and they were being there only. Okay, so the protection of this is a very important right, that protection of individual life and personal liberty. If I don't have that, you have nothing. How do you assure your freedom of protection of my life, me as an individual, and my personal liberty? Are these cases of case instances of violation of freedom of right to freedom? If yes, which constitutional provision does each of these violate? Let's see. Okay, the government of India banned Salman Rushdie's book, satanic words, on the ground that it was disrespectful to Prophet Muhammad and was likely to hurt the feelings of Muslim community. Then of course, speech, it is violating his right to speech and expression. He cannot express his views. Every film has to be approved by the censor board to the of the government before it can be shown to any public, but there is no such restriction for the same story if published in a book or magazine. So of course it is again a right to freedom and right to freedom and expression. We talk about freedom of speech and expression here. So then the government is considering a proposal that there will be industrial zone or sectors of economy that will work uh, where workers will not be allowed to form unions and the same. Then of course it is the citizens should have the right to you can just write associations and unions there. Their right to form associations and unions is being violated. A city administration has imposed a ban on use of public microphones after 10 p.m. in view of in view of the approaching secondary. In A city administration has imposed a ban on the use of public microphone after 10 p.m. in view of the. So this is actually reasonable restriction. It is reasonable restriction. You know why? Because Of course, you are saying you can enjoy your right to this thing, have enjoy life and personal liberty, and use public even, but only till 10 p.m. Because even you are enjoying your right does not mean that you because yes, this very important line, I'll again say that, if you want your right to be enjoyed, you need to oblige to other people's right also, right? Because it's a reasonable restriction. Matlab, okay, you are saying that my right is being violated because I'm not being being allowed to enjoy and everything. What about that student? Even they have that exam, even they have the right to to study in a peaceful place, so even they have it. The next right we'll talk about is right against exploitation. This is actually very important when it comes to vulnerable sections being exploited. Once the right of liberty and equality is granted, it follows that every citizen has a right it follows that every citizen has a right not to be exploited. Yet the constitution makers thought it was necessary to write down certain clear provisions to prevent exploitation of the weaker sections of the society. Even if we say that this is wrong, people will end up doing that, because that's how human behavior is. And that is why it is very important to write it very clearly that this is wrong, this is wrong, this is illegal, you're not supposed to do it. The constitution mentions three specific evils and declares these illegals. First, they profit sorry they prohibit, matlab you're not allowed to traffic in human beings. Traffic here means selling and buying of human beings, usually women, for immoral purposes. Second, our constitution also prohibits forced labor or begging, prohibits forced labor. Here, traffic is very important than forced labor or beggar in any form. Beggar, is a practice where workers are forced to render service to the master free of charge or at a nominal remuneration. While this practice takes a place in a long time basis, it is called the practice of bonded labor. It is also known as bonded labor. Okay. So finally, the constitution also prohibits child labor. Child labor is not allowed. No one can employ a child below the age of 14 to work in a factory, or 9 uh, in a factory or mine, or in any hazardous work such as railways and ports. So hazardous, when we are saying that they are very dangerous. For example, like chemical industries, working in a mine, there's so many blasting and everything is going. Chemical is so dangerous. If you sniff even a one wrong chemical, all the wrong chemical reactions might have in your brain, or even impact your body. Okay. On railways, sports are also very dangerous, because stuff, sorry, all kinds of things, they are transported there and near the port. And then that can actually cause very that also depends, like what kind of cargo is coming. Okay, so that can be of dangerous nature also, that can uh, impact the child under any under age of 14. Using this as a basis, many laws have been made up to prohibit children from working in industries such as beady making, firecrackers and matches, and printing and dyeing. So that is the reason, they are many, children are prohibited in working many industries such as beady making. Beady making, that's you make beady through tendu leaf. Tendu, I'll write tendu. So tendu leaf, is usually this thing. It is actually used to make this thing, beady. Okay. And children, lot of people, because you just need this is the spelling of tendu. Okay, tendu. So you just actually need to roll the leaf and put in the material, uh, and then you're good to go. And this actually impacts the children, who are, so they might get this thing, some kind of some kind of health issue also, due to working in such kind of hazardous environment. On the basis of the reports, write a letter to the editor, petition to a court highlighting the violation of rights against exploitation. Now we know that three are very important: traffic, forced bonded labor, and child labor. Okay, check your progress. A petition was filed in the Madras High Court. The petitioner said that a large number of children aged 7 and 12 were taken from villages in Salim districts and sold in at auction at Urul Nagar in Kerala's Thrissur district. The petition required the court uh, to order the government to check these facts. Then children from the age of 5 were employed. Um, this thing were employed. Where is it? Were employed in iron ore mines. So this is very. Let me just. Iron ore mines were employed. Okay, in Hospet, Sandur, and Ikal areas in Karnataka, children were forced. They were forced to carry out digging, breaking stones, and everything, dumping, transporting, processing of iron ore with no safety equipment, fixed wages, and working hours. Okay, we are here. Okay, they handled high level of toxic wastes and were exposed to this thing. Which dust I cannot actually wait on. Mine, okay, sorry, it's mine. And exposed to mine dust, which was above the permissible level. The second, the school dropout rate in the region is very high. Then third, the latest annual survey conducted by the National Sample Survey, NSSO, found that the number of female child laborers, were growing both in rural and urban areas. The survey revealed there were 41 male child laborers per thousand, worker population in the rural area, as against the previous figure of 34 per thousand. The figure for male child has remained at 31. So you can see the ratio, okay, that how many child labor are working in comparison to the male child labor. So that is also there, that which who is more vulnerable here. You can also see it very clearly. Okay, so now we've seen the cases, all we've read all the three cases here, and in all the three cases actually, all the rights right against exploitation is being violated. Why? Because people are being trafficked, because they are being sold for illegal means. Okay, and then they are being forced to work, okay, under minimum not good conditions and everything. And then the third one, that it is a child labor, because here we can clearly read that children children below the age, child laborers, below the age of 14 years, whether some are 5 years, some are below the age of 12 years, they are being taken and exported and for various works. So actually in all the three cases, because here children aged 12, they are being taken. Okay, so here actually all the rights are being violated. So okay, let's see the next right, which is, we've done three rights till now. The fourth is a right to freedom of religion. Okay, a right to freedom of religion. So let's read on that. Right to freedom includes a right to freedom of religion as well. In this case too, the constitution makers were very particular to state it very clearly. The one important thing is that we know that these are very common. If you say that, "Hey, this is the very common, you should not violate any other person's right and they should have freedom to this and that." But when it actually comes in reality, now it we all these things, we say that it's so easy and falana, they all skip our mind and we tend to make mistakes. You've already read it in chapter 3 that India is very secular state, a secular state because there is no official religion. Okay, most people in India, like anywhere else in the world, follow different religions. Some may not believe in any religion. Secularism is based on the idea that the state is concerned only with relation among human beings and not with relation between human beings and God. This is actually very important. Okay, A secular state is one that does not establish any one religion as official religion. India secularism practices an attitude of principled and equal distance. So we've also spoken about this. Principled and equal distance in the previous textbooks from all religion. The state has the right to be neutral and impartial. That the state has to be neutral and impartial in dealing with all religious, in dealing with all religions. Every person has a right to profess. These are important. Practice and propagate. Transfer it to other people. The religion he or she believes in. Every religious group or sect is free to manage its own religious affairs. Whatever the affairs are there of that religion, the people from that group or from the religious group are free to decide it accordingly. A right to propagate one's religion, however, does not mean that a person has a right to compel another person to convert into his religion by means of force, fraud, inducement, or allurement. So we are saying propagate matlab, yes, you can tell other people about your religion. You can say that our religion is good and that matlab, you are promoting your religion, but you should not end up forcing them to convert to your religion. That is wrong. Freedom to practice religion does not mean that a person can do whatever he finds in the name of. You cannot just have that, oh, this isn't the religion thing in the name, and I get an excuse because of that. For example, one cannot sacrifice animals on human beings as offering to supernatural forces or gods. Religious practices which treat women as inferior or those that infringe women's freedom are not allowed. So in the name of religious practices, you cannot just do anything you feel like. For example, one cannot force a widowed wife to shave his head or wear white clothes. If they don't want to wear it, don't let them wear. If they want to wear it, let them. Let that individual particular individual decide for themselves. You are nobody to tell them. A secular state is the one that does not confer any privilege or favor any particular religion. So actually, a secular state is the one, the government says we are not going to favor anything, and we are not even going to promote, and we are it's just a principled and neutral equal distance from all the religions. Nor does it punish or discriminate against any people on the basis of religion they follow. Thus, the government cannot compel any person to pay taxes for the promotion or maintenance of any particular religion or religious institutions. And that is the reason why the government does not say that you have to pay tax because you're following this religion, or even for the religious institutions. That's the same. There shall be no religious instructions in the government education. So in the government institution, the educational institutions, institutions, there are no religious instructions. And in educational institutions which are managed by private bodies, no person shall be compelled to take part in any religious instructions or attend any religious worship. So if you are in a private body or something, you cannot be compelled to take part in any religious instructions. If you don't feel like, you don't want to go to a temple, don't go. Your wish, your freedom, enjoy it. And don't even compel, okay, somebody, that if somebody is going, let them go. And if they don't want to go, don't start pushing them, come, you have to come and everything. Don't let them enjoy the freedom of not going into the temple, okay.